the prank call thing, and hey, I'm gonna be completely candid here because all statutes of limitations have expired. When we were kids, there wasn't anything more fun than making prank calls. And I mean, we used to gather out. It was our Thursday night thing. We would go to one of my friend's house and we would brainstorm all these different ways we could prank call, and we'd pull out the phone book and we'd try to think of funny things we could say. I mean, so I get that part of it. There's kind of an impishness to it. But, you know, when you're messing with these guys who are waiting to get a pretty important phone call that's going to tell them where they're going to be spending their life for at least the next 4 years, and you prank them at that time, and it's not a bunch of 13-year-old kids, it's adults, it's college kids who are doing it, that to me is it's troubling generally. And the glee that these guys take in recording it and putting it on social media that they're pranking one of these guys, and we've seen it happen to several. I didn't realize it happened to Cooper DeJean last year. He got prank called while he was waiting to be drafted. I didn't know. People were like, oh, it's a big deal for Shedeur. Why wasn't it a big deal for Cooper? Because I didn't know it happened. That's why.
Right.
And everybody knows it happened to Shedeur.
Everybody got to stop saying that crap, too, first off. I hear that a little. Why wasn't bad plays of Jackson Dart shown by Dan Orlovsky? Why wasn't the call on Cooper DeJean and he was pranked not a bigger deal? Because they didn't fall 5 rounds and we didn't watch them for 3 days straight.
And their dad isn't Deion Sanders.
And they're not Deion Sanders. That's why. Like, stop with the stupid questions. Jackson Dart got drafted before we thought he was going to get drafted. That's why Dan Orlovsky didn't make a tape on why, if he falls, this is maybe the reasons he's falling. I mean, come on, everybody. Not everything is always a bigger play. Sometimes it's just about football. And, like, the damn guy didn't show up to meetings prepared. Then maybe he's not as good as everybody thought. Stop looking for all that. But on to this subject, okay? This is crazy. First off, I mean, what the hell are these kids thinking? Seriously, what are you thinking? First off, to record yourself and do it, that makes you think, like, what are you thinking anyways? You're recording yourself doing something stupid. Like, you deserve the double stupid award for that.
Stupid and mean.
Yeah, so you deserve the double stupid award for that, okay? Second thing is, in the NFL, as you know, a lot of these guys, most of them buy a separate phone just for the draft and only give the number to the 32 teams. And that's it. So, you know, that too. So that phone, nobody's got the number. So it's easy to trace back. And yeah, it is. It was mean. The whole thing was mean. I felt bad for Shedeur Sanders. And the NFL needs to figure out something there. Why does all the position coaches need the number? Just give it to the GM and the head coach.
Happened.
Yeah,
I know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened. And see, on Saturday night, after the prank call came to light and it kind of started to take on a life of its own, and Shedeur Sanders explained to Shiloh in their live stream that he had a separate phone that was sent to him by Boost Mobile. And so only the NFL would have had the number. Now, I heard stories yesterday about guys getting prank calls, not during the draft, getting prank calls from their friends, guys on teams, veteran players getting a prank call from their friend that they'd been traded and packing their shit and going to the airport and finding out they hadn't been traded. I heard a good story about that yesterday. That happened. I can't say who, but there was a player in the NFL whose friend called him and told him he had been traded, and he packed his shit and went to the airport and then finally called his agent, and his agent said, dude, you have not been traded. So anyway, I mean, that's
great, and that's friends on friends crime there.
Right,
this is not, stranger
this is
ruining
messing
my
with
life.
Strangers.
Right,
exactly. So here's what happened. There were 2 memos that went out last week that are relevant to this. On Wednesday, there was a memo that went to all coaches, general managers, IT specialists, etc., not to assistant coaches, that had the phone number, cell, and the green room phone number for the 16 guys who were going to be at the draft. 24 guys who were virtually participating, including Shedeur Sanders, had his phone number and the rest. And it also had the 5 phone numbers for the guys participating in the international pathway program who were in Green Bay in the event any of them were going to be drafted. They were in Green Bay, had their numbers too. I've seen that memo. I have that memo.
Yep.
The second communication is the important one. It was an email sent by the league to the all waivers account, which is what they send the waiver wire out on, which goes to everyone, which goes to assistant coaches, which goes to everyone in the personnel department. And the message is very simple. Shedeur Sanders has a new phone. Here's his number. So when it came out yesterday that Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of Falcons defensive coordinator and very recently Jets interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich, that he was visiting his parents. He saw an open iPad. Microsoft isn't going to be happy about that. They're the ones paying like $500 million a year for the sponsorship, but saw an open iPad. That's from the Falcons statement, and wrote down the number and intended to prank call Shedeur Sanders during the draft. Now, that's the official explanation from the Falcons. It absolves Jeff Ulbrich of any responsibility other than leaving an open iPad around. And the Falcons aren't going to take any action. There's their statement that was issued yesterday around 4 o'clock Eastern time. So this is all Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old, going rogue when he saw the open iPad, saw the phone number for Shedeur Sanders. I can only assume he saw that second email I'm telling you about because it would have gone to Jeff Ulbrich, and it had one name and one number in it, right. Shedeur Sanders.
Right. I mean, listen, can I buy this story? Of course I can. Yes. Do I think? I mean, Jeff Ulbrich, is he the type of guy that might have been sitting there on his iPad looking at film in the house, doing stuff like that, leaves it there, leaves it open, walks away, whatever, and now we know how those notifications pop up and the son takes it? Yeah, I mean, can I see it going down like that? Certainly. It doesn't make it right, but yeah, I can see it going down that way for sure. And I don't want to blame Jeff Ulbrich here too much, and other than that, damn, your son shouldn't have done this. Because he is in college and he should know what's better or right and wrong as far as it comes to this situation and putting his dad in a horrible spot. I mean, he's got to feel horrible. He should feel horrible, and that was a low blow to do that to Shedeur Sanders.
Well, and, I've heard from some people in the aftermath, like, do you really buy this? Is this really what happened?
Well, what else is there to imply, right? Like, I don't think Ulbrich's like, hey, guys, here's Shedeur Sanders.
I know.
If he falls,
I know.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe he had the iPad open because the Falcons are going to draft him. I mean, who knows? But I'm kidding. But the email was dated the 23rd of April. So Jax Ulbrich had to be visiting his parents, and the kid's in college, I assume, visiting his parents on Wednesday, saw the email while he was visiting his parents on an open iPad that he didn't access. His dad didn't show it to him. His dad, I mean, I have no reason to believe that Jeff Ulbrich would have been deliberately involved in a prank call. Like Jax Ulbrich saying to Jeff Ulbrich, hey, you know what? You know what would be funny? We got this guy's number. I don't know why I got this email with this. This is Jeff Ulbrich saying to Jax.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why I got this guy's phone number. I never get these phone numbers. You know what would be funny?
No.
If he falls, you know what? We have the Saints. Let's screw with this guy. We could screw with the Saints too. Call him up and say you're Mickey Loomis. That'd be funny. Wouldn't that be funny? Oh, that'd be funny. I don't envision a grown-ass man.
He's not like
adult
that.
Male doing that.
No way. I've been around Jeff Ulbrich before. He's definitely not of that kind of guy here. Hey, if you want to accuse him of anything, maybe he's been too nice to his damn son and been easy on him. Whatever. I don't know the situation here, but it's a tough spot. But I certainly don't buy anything that Jeff Ulbrich had anything to do with this. To me, if there's something that maybe went wrong, is the fact of like, does the son have another iPad or an iPhone that's connected to his, right, to where he gets the alerts that pop up on his phone too, or something like that? That's maybe where I could see some wrongdoing, right? That would be it. But I don't think Ulbrich is like doing like, yes, a scenario as in you're talking about here.
And look, I'm not going to get into parenting skills or lack thereof, but I think my son at the age of 21 or at any age would have known that there are certain things that you do not mess with. And he would have known that there will be hell to pay if you take any of Dad's work information and use it as the basis for some stupid-ass prank. That's a line I'd like to think most kids, and you're talking about a kid here. He's 21, okay? He's old enough to drink. He's old enough to vote. He's old enough to join the Army. He's old enough to make an adult decision. I know his brain's not fully formed and won't be until he's 25, obviously. That's why car insurance goes down when you turn 25, because before then your brain isn't fully wired to appreciate the connection between your actions and consequences. But I'd like to think that in most households, the kid's going to realize at 21, don't mess with dad's work.
Yeah,
and this falls into the category of messing with dad's work.
Yeah, no, listen, you get in trouble. I was 21. I've done dumb stuff. I understand kids doing dumb stuff. You're right. But if this happened in my house with my kids, they know. They know, first off, don't even touch dad's work iPad or computer. Like, don't even put your hands on it. It's just
wait. These are the same kids that used to run off with your phone so you couldn't receive text messages.
That's a different thing. But like my phone, my stuff with my football stuff here and all that. Yeah, I mean and yes, even to do that, they know they better not text somebody back or do something like that. Like they're gonna be in deep crap. They know that. And I'm sure that Jeff Ulbrich's son is in deep crap too. It was good of him to release this statement, trying to apologize to Shedeur Sanders. Big on Shedeur Sanders to answer the phone and talk to the kid a little bit and accept the apology. That's a big-time move by Shedeur. But, yeah, this is a bad look for the Ulbrich family and of course, the kid.
But look, all the stuff that Jack Ulbrich did as of Sunday was clean up on aisle 5.
Yeah,
it's
right.
The culmination of the stupidity. Because they reveled in it on social media.
Yes.
And there was a lot of stuff, and a lot of people were getting blamed for it, and we stayed away from all of that. And I told the rest of the PFT writers, we're staying away from any of this. We're going to track it to the extent there's anything there that requires further reporting, but we're not going to go down these rabbit holes until there's something official. And the NFL told us on Sunday morning they were looking into it, and there was enough there that if the NFL wanted to try to get to the bottom of it, it could. And they did, and it didn't take long to crack the case.
Yeah,
and have that statement from the Falcons. Now the NFL says they're reviewing the matter with the Falcons. Plenty of people got in touch with me and said they're not going to do anything to the Falcons because of the whole Rich McKay competition committee thing. Like they got slapped on the wrist for the Kirk Cousins tampering. They got slapped on the wrist when they piped fake crowd noise into the Georgia Dome. They're not going to do anything to Rich McKay and the Falcons. So we'll see. We'll see. But here's the bottom line. Here's where the league has responsibility. Why in the hell do you send out the guy's phone number to everyone?
That's right.
It did not need to go to everyone.
No.
The original memo didn't go to everyone. When there's a change, it does not need to go to every assistant coach, every member of the personnel department of every team. They need to do a better job of controlling that information.
Yeah, that's what I agree. And that's I started off the segment saying, but the owner, the GM, the head coach, they're the only ones that should have that information there. Nobody else really needs it. Nobody's making those calls to do that. Everything you see, head coach on the phone, D coordinator, you want to talk to him and say hi to him and congratulations, welcome to the team. Here's the phone, pass it along. Yeah, there's definitely got to be better checks and balances with the league in this one.
I got to say two more things real quickly. Tyler Warren, the Colts first-round pick at number 14, he got prank called by somebody at number 7 saying it was the Jets taking him, so that happened as well. And I don't know the name of the player, and if I did, I couldn't use it, but I'm told another player, a half hour after he was drafted, got a call that he'd been traded.
Damn.
Right after he was drafted. So, and I've seen some other stuff. One of the Bills players told reporters when he had his introductory conference call that he'd been prank called, and others have been prank called. So, look, some of it might be people who know your phone number anyway.
Yeah, right.
To the extent this is coming from the league, they have to be very, very careful, and they need to tighten these procedures up come 2026. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.